never according to our own plan and our own expectations. And so that's what I'm learning here. You think you know where your life's going, and all of a sudden you've got some different directions. So.
Welcome to today's vlog. Look at my cute breakfast date.
My thumbnail. I'm on a bleaching.
Can't like hold my vlog camera. This is a really attractive angle. This is the best cup of coffee ever. And I love you so much.
11/11/16 at 8:17 a.m. Today's the day. I'm getting ready to ask Cambria to marry me. Morning.
Today is Bo and I's 2-year anniversary. We just got engaged. He's moving on.
I'm out of here.
I can't believe we got the place. We have the keys. That is so crazy.
The moment of truth. Right here. There it is. Here's our home.
It's weird now that it's like ours, you know?
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't feel.
This is crazy. I'm gonna marry you.
That's really nice.
Yes, you are. It's my wedding day. Love you so much. And I'll catch up with you guys later. Oh my gosh, wow, I almost spilled my water. That felt so good to push that record button. Wow, I didn't know how much I would miss that and would miss you, and I can believe that I'm finally filming this video. Okay, let me just first off, I was reading this the other day and I just felt like God, first of all, I love you and I miss you. And I just felt like when I read this the other day, I just felt like, how many times can I say I just felt like? This was exactly how I felt. Did Bo just pull up? Okay, no, people are gonna think I'm so weird living in this new place and filming myself with a massive window and everyone's walking by because there's construction. Anyway, I read this in James and I just felt like it spoke from right now in the present, and also like my whole, like the past few years, honestly, really. And I believe that I'm making this video just at God's perfect timing. And because I always felt like, why didn't I film this earlier? And like, you know, it's really easy to kind of look at even your life and kind of be like, well, I should have done this earlier. Or like, you know, I can't believe that things went this way. And like, how did this happen? Or like, I really like wish I could have controlled it better. But what I want to say is that, well, what I want to say is I want to just read this to you. So it's in the book of James, and it's James 5, I think. Oh wait, no, I think it might be, oh, sorry. It's at the end of 4, that's why I thought it was in 5. Okay, I found it. It's on boasting about tomorrow. This is James 4, verse 13. And it says, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow, we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit." So, you know, referring to anyone that's like, okay, today, tomorrow, for the next year, we're gonna do this and we're gonna trade and we're gonna make a profit and this is gonna happen. And verse 14 says, "Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring." And isn't that the truth? Like, that's the truth. Amen to that. And it says, continuing in verse 14, it says, "What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that." So if God wills, I have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. Jesus talks about that over and over and over, not to worry about your life. Don't worry about tomorrow. And oftentimes we can kind of go, yeah, don't worry about tomorrow, but, you know, blah, 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 blah. And we can look at our past and worry about that, thinking that we need to fix tomorrow or prepare better for tomorrow. But the reality is we don't even know what tomorrow is going to bring. And so, yeah, it says, instead you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you who boast in your arrogance, all such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. Okay, so that kind of like finishes it out. So anyway, the point of that, really the verse that I really want to hone in on is that 15, is that if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. First of all, we don't even know what tomorrow's going to bring. We have no idea what our life is going to hold. We have no idea if we're going to wake up tomorrow. Every single day is a gift, and that's the truth. And it's not just like, oh yeah, you know, every day is a gift, and so, you know, whatever. No, really, like every single moment, every single day is a gift. And so I feel it's so true in my life that God, honestly, these past few years, you know, I think we can all say this. Things don't go as planned. You know, we set out to do something. We set out to go to this and such city and spend a year there and trade to make a profit, or literally, that's literally so funny because I'm like, wow, this is like, as I read it, I'm like even more like, wow, yes, wow, is it like really bright in here? Hold on. Let me turn. Well, I hope that's not too dark. So I felt like it was really bright before, but anyway. But I felt like that is so true in all of our lives, that we can plan things out, we can stress out about them, we can make these elaborate plans, and things just don't go as planned. And not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing, because God works all things together for good. I know I'm like really preaching a lot right now, but not preaching, but whatever, but it's the truth. And so yes, in this video, basically I wanted to preface it with that and make the whole thing actually about that, not just preface it, but that is a truth in all of our lives that we should cling to every single day and remember every single day, because our life is but a vapor. And what God has really reminded me is that life is really, it's about living for Him, and it's about our lives glorifying Him. You know, I said often, and if you read the devotional that I wrote, Look Inside, this, you know, we're not made to perfect our image, and we're created to reflect His image. And so, but when I say we're not created to perfect our image, yes, I mean externally. Like, we're not just created to perfect our image and ourselves and what we look like and all that kind of stuff, because I really got caught up in that when I was in high school, in my teenage years. It's so weird. I feel like I'm like dating myself. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, wow, life goes by so fast. It's crazy. But, okay, full circle with that thought. Now, here, we are not created to even perfect our lives, you know, and I think that is where the disappointment comes in, when we have expectations for our life and then we don't meet the expectations that we set. Things don't go the way that we planned for them to go, and then we just get frustrated and we get discouraged, and instead of just like allowing whatever's gonna happen, allowing God's plan for our lives to unfold, even through the chaos, there's a verse that says, you know, even the tears that you have cried basically will be used as pools of refreshment for later on in your life. That's like a very big paraphrase of that verse. Anyway, and I love that. I just love that verse and that truth and that idea of that, you know, the very things that we go through that were hard will be the same things that actually end up refreshing us later on in life. And it's so true, because I look back at everything over the past few years, and there's been so much good, and God is so good. And at the same time, He uses the things that are difficult and that are hard and that maybe are not good, but He works all things together for good. And not everything is good, but God works all things together for good. And yeah, Peter John used to say that all the time. And anyway, so what I want to say, I wrote out a timeline literally for this video, because let me just say this again, I miss you guys so much. And I feel even like, and then I'm gonna leave this video very raw and like uncut, because then there's this other part of me, and I really hope that you can see, like, I just really hope you can see my heart, like my raw, real emotions and heart out in front of you, because I feel like there's these two sides. It's like, I really, really miss you guys. And this other side is like, don't say that, you know, like you left and you suck. And, you know, like, how could you miss someone if you just neglect them and you don't, you know? So like my heart is like, oh, I miss you guys so much. And it's so true. And then there's this other part of me that's like, don't say that. Like, you're not allowed to say that. You don't get the privilege of saying that because you failed. You know, I feel like I left like my child or something, you know, like, I don't know. It's like a weird, I don't know. It's like this weird like tug of war in my head where I'm just like, Anyway, I hope you can just see where I'm at. Okay, I needed to say that, and I love you, and I wish I could just like reach through the screen and like hug you. Wow. Okay, I wrote out a timeline because this video is finally happening, and I needed to make sure that, I want to say this like quickly, but I also want to say it like, I don't know. I just want to like make sure I say everything that I need to say. Let me just give you a timeline of everything. This is not about like excuses or where I've been, and that's the other thing. Okay, I really want to make this point as well, real quick, before we jump into everything else, is that this is the point of like, God had me where it was just like, oh, he pulled me away for a while for his reasonings, and I don't fully understand even now. There's a part of me that I don't fully understand, but then there's also this part of me that I really do understand. That sounds crazy. Like, I really hope you can see how insane, like, I really do understand. I really have no idea what's going on. Like, that's literally my brain 100% of the time. I'm like, black, white, yes, no, whatever. Anyway, so what I want to say is, though, is that, you know, for this time being that I was not posting very often, God had a reason for that. And that was exactly what I should have been doing on those days, in those hours, in those moments of where God had me to be. And I just want to catch you up. I want to catch you up to speed. And I also want to paint a beautiful canvas. It's like the chaos, but then it turns into like a beautiful photo. Are my metaphors getting too weird or not making sense? Probably. Okay, 2015. Let's start the timeline. Hopefully I can do a cool timeline. Okay, here we go. 2015, I went to a conference. I like even like posted a little photo about it on Instagram.
Yeah. Take a picture. See,
Literally 4 years ago, and that really changed everything for me. That opened a door to an opportunity that led me to literally where I am today, basically. So that one little door in 2015, God ordained that to be open, and although it's been a crazy ride, I am so grateful for it and everything that I've learned. Okay, that was at the end of 2015. 2016, that was the year that I wrote Look Inside, my devotional. And this video is very much going to be about Look Inside in a way, because it's not necessarily about Look Inside, the devotional, but it's about my heart behind it and what I wanted to create more than just a product or a devotional or my own thing. It was my heart behind it to make something for you, it's almost like hard to put into words, like when you have something in your heart, like a dream or like an idea, it almost like becomes a part of you, and it's like really crazy to try to even verbalize it. But Look Inside was so much more than a devotional, if I can put it that way. It was like everything that I ever wanted to give like my younger self, but to give to you if you're struggling. But even more than that, like, it wasn't that was my baby, but the dream that I had around it for you and for you guys and for us was so much bigger than just like a devotional. It was the beginning of something that I thought, or even now, I don't know, whatever, I don't know. Anyway, it was just the beginning of a brand new like chapter in my life. Okay, sorry, whatever. And so 2016, I was signed, and I put out Look Inside. I wrote Look Inside. I poured everything that I had into it, and it was fun. It was really fun getting to write it. I spent so many hours, and I have so many sweet memories of just sitting at my favorite coffee shops downtown and living in California and just like picking up my laptop and like going to get an apricot tea like I did in high school, and like just being amazed at what God had done and the doors that he had opened, and writing it, and I just remember there was one moment that I started crying when I was writing it, and I just like was pouring everything. I was pouring even like my old tears that I had cried when I was in the middle of my eating disorder, and it was like reliving it in that moment, but it was so refreshing. It was like exactly what I said at the beginning of this video of like those pools of refreshment. It was so refreshing because I'm like, wow, like I just felt very redeeming, like to do that, to write it, and to be in that moment of like, wow, this is gonna get put out into the world, and I know that I had all confidence that God was going to use it, and use it in the lives, in maybe your life. You may have read it, I don't know, but it was a very sweet redemption moment, like a moment of redemption. And then 2015 came, or sorry, wow, yeah, 2015 is literally before 2016. 2017 was the year it was supposed to come out. So it was supposed to come out, 2017 was the year when everything got crazy. Anyway, so 2017, obviously that was the year that I got married, and Bo proposed at the end of 2016. I was writing my devotional. It was a very sweet time. Oh my gosh, it was such a sweet time. It was so, it just like makes me feel warm inside thinking about those moments. So 2017, obviously we got married April 15th, 2017, and the devotional was actually supposed to come out in March. So yeah, it did not come out in March, and it is what it is. And that was when everything shifted. So we got married, the devotional was supposed to come out, Bo was working for my family business, and everything just totally shifted. We felt that God was kind of closing the door for Bo working at my family business, and I really had these big dreams in my heart. And for years, I also want to say this, for years, sorry, I'm touching my hair, I like hate that, but it's like, it like creeps around my neck, and I'm like, ugh, get off my neck, get off my neck. Okay, anyway. So for years prior, random people would like help me film my videos, and I always needed help, and then it got to the point where it was like, okay, I can't just like, you know, my sister has a life, you know, I can't just like count on her to always film, and like, so anyway, I started like paying my friends, and obviously like it takes hours to film videos. Anyway, just fun little, it was really sweet time. Like, anyway, boring financial part of it that nobody really cares about, but nevertheless, I needed people to help me. And then that's when it became a lot more serious as far as like, I really needed people to help me, because I couldn't just like rely on like, hey, will you help me? You know, it's like, well, no, I can't do that today. And it's like, okay, I really need to film today. So I knew that I needed to get more structure, which means that I needed to hire someone. So I actually ended up hiring one of my little sister's friends. He was amazing. It even is like, it's so cool to like think back on all those times. It was like such a sweet time. And then I hired one of my friends. I don't think you guys ever met her. She was never really in the vlogs. That was a really sweet time. It was just fun. Like, it was just fun time. I was glad that I had people that were helping me. I was really able to film. It was great. And then she wasn't able to work for me anymore. He got a job. And so, you know, over the course of, you know, periods of time, people, you know, weren't able to help me anymore. So anyway, I got, you know, I was in this pickle, if you will, of like, okay, I'm trying to write, I'm trying to do this. I was in over my head. I couldn't do it alone. And Bo worked for my family business, so it was kind of like, okay, well, we prayed about it for literally ever. I don't even know how long we prayed about it. And then the time came for like, okay, the devotional is gonna come out, like, this is what we're gonna do. So Bo quit my family business, and we always thought, okay, hey, if this doesn't work out, you can just go right back to working, you know, at the family business. Totally fine, it was chill. And that's when things with the devotional, the behind the scenes of just the business aspect of it, as much as it's weird to even say that, like, there's this other part of my brain that's like blah, 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 like, I don't know, like, that's weird. But there is a business aspect of it. You know, I wanted to come out with a physical product, and I wanted it to be in your hands, and I wanted it to be beautiful. And God opened the door for me to work with certain people back in 2015. And then, so it's kind of like all unfolding, right? And so now we're in 2017, and, you know, okay, it's not coming out, but okay, it'll come out right after we get married. It did not come out right after we got married. That summer was so sweet. It was so fun of just like being newlyweds, but also navigating like, okay, this isn't going as we planned, and just trusting God that it was going to come out when it was supposed to come out, and it just didn't come out at all in 2017. And that was like, I don't want this to be dramatic, like, because it's not. Like, see, my brain is like, it's not dramatic, and then there's this other part of me, it's like, it was a really hard year, you know. It was just a year of like challenges, you know, and just like falling down and getting back up, and like mentally being discouraged, and then like persevering, and like, you know, it brought us closer in our marriage, because it was like, wow, you know, we, like, us being married, like, that's really the only thing that like matters. And I know that sounds really dramatic, obviously, you know, but it was just kind of like clinging to each other, if that makes sense, of like, okay, Lord, like, we know that like you're gonna get us through this, and that you're gonna provide, and all this stuff. And all that to say is, and there's this other part of me, I'm like, I've never said this before, and the reason I've never said it before is because I don't like to get into like the nitty gritty, like dirt stuff, and I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm never gonna, like, I don't know, that's not my personality at all, and that's not my heart at all. But I poured everything into that project. And when I mean everything, I mean resources, time. I really invested in it in every way. I'm just gonna put it that way. And I really trusted that it was going to be, it was going to come out, and that everything that I had invested would be a return on the investment, if you will, and then I could get things going. And because I believed in it so much. And so, yeah, this is where like my brain is like, this is where it's hard for me. Like, this is like a hard moment for me, because my husband's calling me and I'm filming a video. Okay, hold on. Bobo?
Right on. Love you, babe.
Okay, love you too, bye.
Bye.
When I say I invested everything, I literally invested everything. And because it didn't come out for so much longer, it didn't even come out in 2017, and I believed in it so much. Like, that's what I really want you to see, because I believed that this was going to be the beginning of like me writing a bunch of stuff and coming out with products and content that was not just YouTube videos, but like my own, because I knew that this is what I want to do. I wanted to like help you guys and always be able to do YouTube, and obviously that requires time, and time means that you need to have money for that time, if that makes sense. And so everything's all interconnected. I wish that money literally just like didn't even matter in this world at all, because it's just like, dude, I'm going to heaven and money doesn't matter. Like, yes, we need money, God provides, everything like that, but like at the end of the day, don't trust in riches, don't pursue riches. That's not what it's about. So my heart was to be able to allow my time to be freed up to make videos, to make content, to write, to do all these things. And obviously, you have to have the financial resources to do that. Obviously, you guys get that, you understand that. Yeah, I already know that you guys know that, but I'm saying it. Okay, that being said, I started working with so many more brands because things were not good business-wise behind the scenes. And the reason for that is because I was very naive, I was very trusting. I thought that, you know, I was, this is where it's like really hard for me, like mentally. I just was a trusting person. I didn't know, I thought that, you know, everything was, I look back and it's like, I learned my lesson and I'm grateful that I learned the lesson, but it's not wise to just, you know, totally trust absolutely everybody all the time. And I definitely learned that lesson. However, I so believed in what I was doing for you and for you guys that I was like willing to absolutely do whatever it took to get this out to you and into your hands, and to launch the beginning of what was just going to be this huge beginning, not just Look Inside, but so many other things and ideas and projects, and anyway, all that. And so I started working with a lot more brands. Obviously, I loved the brands that I was working with, and I want to say this as well, is that some people's dream is to like do YouTube and work with brands, and that's amazing, and that's literally what I do and what I've done. And that's amazing, and I love working with brands, and brands are amazing, and getting to work with brands that you love is a gift, and it's truly amazing. However, it's not what I ultimately wanted to do. And so I started working with more brands so that I was able to fund the projects that I wanted to do, and so that I was able to kind of move into a new era, if you will, into my channel and stuff like that, videos and content and everything like that. Now, things kept getting delayed, and it was one of the most frustrating processes I've ever been through. I can't even tell you how many times I just like wanted to rip my hair out. Like, I was like, what is happening? Like, it was crazy, you guys. I really wish that whatever, it's fine. But like, if you would have been there with me, you would have been like, this is nuts. Like, it was nuts. I can't even say that enough. Even my parents at this point were like, what is going on? Like, this is literally insanity. Everything was going wrong. It was like supposed to come out that week, and then something major would go wrong. And it was like, what is happening? And then the next week it was like, okay, it's gonna come out this week. And then it was like every single week. Like, imagine every single week of your life, you're like, this is it, it's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out. It's like, nope, 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 nope. And then week after week after week after week. Literally, this was literally my entire life in 2017 of just like, nope, 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 yay, 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 nope, nope, nope. And it was like, I felt like I was going insane. Okay. 2018 comes along, and that was when it came out in February. It finally, the joy of when it came out, and man, you guys blew my socks off with your response to it and everything, and it just blew me away, and how like good God was. Like, it just literally exceeded any expectations that I even had for it. At that point, I had no expectations because I was so disappointed with just like the whole year. And my mom always told me, if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. So that's what I do. So anyway, it came out, and it was just amazing. And all that to say though, you know, I thought it was gonna come out pretty much the year before, and so it was just a crazy time of like waiting for it to come out and like putting all these investments into it, time, resource wise, financially, everything. And then all that time without it coming out, trying to figure things out, and during those months. And so that was crazy, but God always took care of us. And that was something that I'm so grateful for, because it really showed me how, like, no, it wasn't necessarily what I had envisioned of like, I wanted to do my own thing with my own products and my own, and no, it wasn't how I envisioned it, but God really, like, I felt like brought me into like the deep waters of like trusting Him. And even in like a tiny little way, when I say deep waters, it was just in one little way of like trusting that He was gonna provide, but He always did. And I would never take that back for the world. And I'm really grateful for that season in our lives, and in our marriage, and in my life, and in my personal walk with the Lord. And I want to say that. So, okay, 2018, launched it. That's when things started to get really tricky behind the scenes, because it was like, I don't ever want to go through this again. And then that's when I got outside counsel and advice. And that's when really God brought people into my life that I just never even imagined that He would bring into my life. Really were able to talk with me and walk with me out of that season, and making the right decisions moving forward, and what I had learned. And so sorry, because there's so much I want to tell you. So that was the year that we moved to Oregon, and that was the year that we moved. I just said that, and I closed most of those business relations at that time, because I knew that was the right thing to do. That was the wise thing to do, even though it was very difficult for me, because I felt like, well, I thought that was everything. Like, I thought that was what God had for me, and now it's like, I'm just like out in like, I just totally trust you, God. I have no idea what the future holds. And now I'm just really like, I have no idea what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna go on. So we moved that year, and then that was when it was that summer. We moved in May, I closed all that, and then we moved in May, and then that was when I decided, you know what, fresh start, I'm gonna get certified in personal training. I'm gonna get my CPT license through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and I threw myself completely into that, like 100%. I woke up at like 5, 6 a.m. every single day. I was studying for hours until the nighttime. Like every moment that I could study, I was studying. And it felt so good and it was so rewarding, and I got certified. I can't even believe that was more than a year ago that I got certified. That's blowing my mind. I have my little, yeah, it just shut off on me, sorry. I have my little personal training thing here that you can kind of see. Anyway, it was so rewarding and amazing to get that, because for years I had wanted to do that, but I was pouring my time and energy into other things, like I talked about. And it was like, I'm doing this. It's now or never. I'm doing it now. And it was really smoky last summer in Oregon. So I was just inside. I felt like it was the perfect opportunity for me to just really zone in on studying. And so I got my CPT license. And also this past 2018, God really, he just opened a door for me to be signed with Harvest House Publishers. And so it was crazy because I had no idea what God was gonna do. Like, I had no idea what my future held. I was really just like blindly going into, 2018 of like, I'm closing the door and I don't know what's gonna happen. And it's funny because they're actually based in Eugene, which is hilarious because we moved to Oregon. It was just like all the puzzle pieces fell into place in God's perfect timing, even though I couldn't see. And I wanna encourage you in that if you're in a moment, in a place, in a time in your life right now where you can't see, and you have no idea what's gonna happen. Maybe you're like me and you thought something was gonna happen, and you just thought that things were gonna work out differently. I want you to know that God does have a plan. And even when you can't see, that's when our faith comes in. And that's when our trust in God, that he's going to work everything together for good. His timing is perfect, and he is going to lead you through this, and he's going to bring you into those green pastures. We're not going to stay in that valley forever. And so, a lot of metaphors there, but it's the truth. And it's in those waiting moments that we're really refined, and we're actually able to appreciate the mountaintops even more. Are you coming now? Okay, so signed with Harvest House, and then the year went by so quickly that my 50,000 word manuscript, don't just ignore this dog doing an army crawl across the rug. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this new rug. Okay, anyway, I'll have to show you the house. Seriously, Meester? Okay, can you stop army crawling? Then it was time for me to turn in my 50,000 page manuscript. And so, oh my gosh, please ignore this dog. Okay, you're crazy. He's like coming out to play. And I went into hibernation mode. After that, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to write 50,000 words. This is crazy. And I poured all my time and energy into that. Loved it. What a cool process it was and is to write a book. I'm actually I'm reviewing the manuscript right now with after the editor just went through and edited it. Now I get to go back and make my edits and approve everything. And it's just been a really cool process. So a long one, but amazing. Oh my gosh, I just spilled water on my rug. Great. Sorry, what was I even saying? I'm actually really excited because this brand new rug is washable. It's a washable rug. You can literally put it in your washing machine. Anyway, I'm obsessed with it. So, that's when everything just went so crazy and so cool, but also like really crazy. We went and visited my family right after I turned in the manuscript. Like very shortly after that. Oh no, actually there was like a couple month time period where I was actually closing off the final business relations, which were just not, that needed to be done, and it took, I'm so grateful that God gave me my sweet, wonderful friend who is an accountant, and she knows how to, I'm so grateful. So God really helped me with that. It took many hours and it was a very interesting experience. So, okay, so then that got closed. The door got closed on that. So moved on from that. And then, hopefully it's not too dark in here. Okay, anyway. And then after that was when we went and visited my family. And that's when things this year just really took a totally different turn. It was one of the craziest, most emotionally difficult seasons ever, and all I can say and all I want to say about that is that when I look at other people and I maybe think, you know, their life is perfect or they have it all together, or like this family is so great and they have no problems, like everyone goes through things. And it was medically, it was family, relational wise, it was one of the most challenging times ever. And it was cool because, you know, God really brought me and my little sister a lot closer together, and I'm so grateful for even how God worked in that. And so, yeah, my family is good. Not perfect. My family is not perfect. I don't come from a perfect family and I don't have a perfect life at all. I literally go through nights where I'm just crying myself to sleep and like I'm really sad. All that to say, God is so good and I'm grateful for every single day. And that's the point, is that like we go through rough stuff and we also can have joy in the morning, if that makes sense. And I hope I'm showing you that through just my heart and what I'm saying. So that was really difficult earlier this year. Yeah, that was really hard. Really hard. And then after that, it was summertime. That's where I bring you into the present. We were actually gonna move back to California because of everything that was happening with my family and everything that was going on. And we felt that it was the best thing to, no! Oh, did you see how I caught him? No, you don't go on the couch, and you know that. We felt that it was the best thing to do. We felt like it was what God wanted us to do. It was to move back to California, and we prayed about it for a really long time. And it was like, okay, we're gonna move. You know, our lease was up. We put in our 30 days, and we were literally moving back to California, like literally. When all of a sudden, God opened up the opportunity for Bo to come on staff at our church, and that was crazy. That's a very long story in and of itself, but basically Bo said no multiple times. You know, we're already moving. I think Bo's here. No, that's a construction worker. We were already moving, you know, we were like, no, we're moving back to California. You know, it's not gonna work. And God just did everything perfectly. So at first, Bo was just assisting the high school pastor, and then, you know, that was what he was doing, and we were like, oh, okay, we're gonna stay. We don't have a place to live. And then our friend, my wonderful friend who helped me previously in the months that it was difficult, she opened up her home, and we lived there over the summer, which was amazing. It was so gracious and kind for her to open her home to us. At the same time, that did have its struggles because we were out kind of in the country, if you will, and I didn't really have, Wi-Fi was basically non-existent. I am not complaining at all. I'm just trying to state the facts, okay? Just to preface that, I am so grateful for, she knows, my friend knows my heart. And you guys can obviously see my heart too. But I'm just trying to state the facts that Wi-Fi was really bad and the reception was not good. It was even really hard to make phone calls. So with the service that I had, I didn't have like the country service that you kind of need for out there. So anyway, that was very difficult when it came to like YouTube, and I didn't really have a space, and that was a really low point for me emotionally because I felt like God, like, I don't know, I just was like, God, what's going on? Like, I just want to make videos, but like, this is crazy. And then that's when everything was getting crazy as well, because then they had a meeting and they moved the high school pastor up into a new position at church, and Bo became the full-time high school pastor, which is what he's doing now, which is, I just got off the phone with him as you saw, which is, wow, I probably should have said that with way more enthusiasm, but it's so crazy because we moved to Oregon having no idea what we were doing really, and we just knew that this is what God had put on our hearts. And years ago when Bo and I first met, like the beginning of our relationship, way before we were ever married, in the beginning of our dating years, Bo told me that God had really spoke to him that like youth pastor, like that was what God had put on his heart. And it was not to say that this summer was easy by any stretch of the imagination, if you will. It had its challenges for sure, because as with anything that we do in life or for the Lord or with anything, there's opposition, and it was like very emotionally like, whoa. With Bo, anyway, I can make a whole separate video on that, but basically he got moved into the high school pastor position, which is what he's doing right now full time. which is so amazing. It's so amazing. And I look back, I'm like, if he would have never quit my family business, and then even how the struggles that we faced and all this stuff, and then how if he was working there, then we probably would have never moved to Oregon. It's like super crazy. It's like, wow, God, whoa, this is crazy. So really cool. And it's just been the coolest thing ever to watch Bo and watch God really mold Bo and shape him, and watch Bo lean on him. And Bo needs to make his like life story into a video, because Bo is the most amazing man ever. And he just has the most incredible story. So I'm like trying to keep an eye on this dog. I'm like, where are you going? What are you doing? Okay, so yeah. So that's this year. Crazy. And he's been the full-time pastor, high school pastor, for the past couple months. But he's been working at the church, gosh, I think since the beginning of the summer. Yeah, or end of June, middle, time is a blur this year. This has been the fastest year of my life. And now here we are. So God finally, not finally, in his perfect timing, sorry, when I say finally, I just mean I was very highly anticipating this. We moved into our little apartment, which I am so happy being here. I've never been happier in a place. It's 1 bedroom. I have to do like a little tour and show you guys around, which I vlogged a little bit of it when we first moved in. Now I'll vlog like what it looks like and give you a little tour. But it's just perfect for us because it's just me and Bo and little Meester, and I've just never been happier in like a physical space. And I'm so excited just to like, it's just fun. Like, it's easy to maintain, it's small, it's little. Anyway, that's a side little tangent. But to wrap all this up, I wanna say that, what I wanna say is this: if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. And that's what I wanna end the video with, is I had no idea what these past few years were gonna bring. All I know, and I have no idea what the future holds, but I'm gonna take one day at a time and just know that God is going to just continue to lead me. And my hopes and my dreams are that I would get back on here on YouTube, find my first love again with just the Lord, which is really what happened this past year. Is I just feel like my relationship with Jesus just went deeper and richer, and that's really what matters, because I know that as my roots grow down deeper in him, that the fruit in my life, I'm hoping that you can, metaphorically speaking, but really that you can like enjoy, and that we can grow together, and that my experience in not just life but today, that we can just walk together. And I'm so excited. Things have finally really settled down, and it's been a wild ride, and it's gonna continue to be a wild ride, but it's a new season, and I feel even the changing of the leaves in the fall season, it's so beautiful here in Oregon, that it's just different. And God's done such a work in my heart, even from like just wanting to move back to California and feel like I just really wanted to just make videos again, and all this stuff, all these dreams, everything I ever wanted to say, everything I wanted to explain, everything I ever wanted to do, I've like given that, I've just like laid it at his feet, like at the feet of Jesus, and he's taken my anxieties, my worries about what I think about myself, about what others think about me, of whatever, and just replaced it with like what he thinks about me. And I want you guys to know that what I really want you to understand from this video is like, what matters is that we walk with Jesus. That is what matters. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I could die tomorrow. I know that's really dramatic, but that's the truth. And this life isn't it. This life is not about chasing riches, money, fame, even a job choice or a career choice. Our life has value because God says that we have value. And I am just so grateful for Jesus and how he has been a friend to me. He's been my Lord all these years, and my faith, and I feel like I could cry because I'm so grateful for that. God has like, I'm gonna leave this in here. I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm trying to edit this video as minimal as possible. I love you guys, and when I think back, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, but I just like, it feels really awkward when I like sit down to edit and I'm like crying. But I'm so grateful for some of you have been with me since like 2010, and it's like, I do feel like I let some of you down over the years, and I'm so sorry. And that was never my intention. I know I'm crying right now, but I'm just so excited for this new season, and I don't know what it holds. But as far as it can be to me, I'm going to try to be led every single day, and that's my prayer, is that God would lead me by His Spirit every single day into whatever videos He wants me to make, into whatever things that He wants me to talk about, and that I would just, my life would be honoring to Him in my videos and how I help you guys. And the reason that I'm crying is because I'm so thankful for you, and I really mean that from the depths of my heart, is that I love you guys, and I'm sorry if I've let you down. Wow, this is so dramatic, I'm sorry. And I'm so grateful that you've been here all these years, even maybe when I haven't been. And just I think about all the years when I just vlogging by the beach, and my workouts and my life with Bo and our relationship, and it's just the sweetest years ever, just the sweetest time ever. And the reason for that is because of you guys, is sharing that with you, is that we get to do life together. And those are just some of the sweetest memories in my life, are those years. And I just feel like those were the good old days. And I know that I'm living in the good old days now, and I hope that we just can, I hope that me being maybe your long lost friend is I just want to say here I am. And if the Lord wills, we'll do this or that. And that's what I'm going to end the video with. So it's sad to even end the video, because I'm I just want to talk to you guys and hang out all day. Wow. So Bo's the high school pastor. We live in Oregon for at least another year. I love you with all my heart. And thank you for just being the greatest friends in the world. From the bottom of my heart, I love you. And I could just keep talking, but I think I'm going to end the video here. I love you guys so much. And I will see you in my next video. Feels so good to say. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. Okay, I had to jump on here and say that I just love you guys. I put up an Instagram post, and it's been a while since I've done that. And I'm at a loss for words. I seriously adore all of you. You watching this video right now, words can seriously never, I had to come back on here. I know I filmed this video, but I had to come on here and say thank you again, because I can never express how blessed you individually, your kindness, blesses my life. And I'm so thankful for who you are, and I'm just at a loss for words. So thank you for watching this extremely long update video. If you stayed to the end, leave a comment saying hi Meester. I don't know why I chose to say that, but yeah, I feel overwhelmed with love, with your love, and I just want to give my love back to you guys. And you guys are patient with me, you guys are kind, you guys are understanding. I'm gonna start crying again, so I don't want to do that because I already cried in the earlier part of this video. So I love you, if I can't say that enough. And I am putting my cleaning on hold so that I can get this video up. Wow, that just really changed all the coloration. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna apologize about my messy house, because I'm stinking proud of it, because I cooked dinner and I grocery shopped and I got so much stuff done, and I don't have to do it all in a day, and neither do you. So, but maybe I'll get it done tonight if I'm Superwoman. But if not, I don't care. I'll just sleep in peace. Okay, love you guys. I have no idea how to stop this. Okay, I figured it out.